Hey, it's Grady at Twin Creek Audio, back in the studio. Today I'm going to attempt an ambient rock mix. To do this, I'm going to revisit the song Lake Nacogdoches 1985 from Circular Corners album number 17, which came out in 2019. There's a great music video for this song on Circular Corners YouTube channel, so check that out. It also contains the original mix of the song, and that was done in the box. But today I'm going to mix it on the analog console with analog outboard gear. Reverb obviously is going to be really important in an ambient rock mix, and I've done some other videos on some reverbs lately. So kind of going to roll some of that into this video, including my external VST setup, which I'll also put a link to the video of at the end of this video. Here in my hybrid studio, I can pull a project up in my DAW, which is Reaper. I'm using the House of White Tie Imperial theme at 1080 on these two monitors. And everything comes out from the DAW through the audio interfaces to the console. For this ambient rock mix, I've got acoustic drums, kick, snare, hi-hat, 3 toms. These are 2 rack toms, floor tom. Then I had a mid-side setup. So there are no overhead mics. This was a mid-side setup, this being the mid-mic, and this is the 2 sides panned hard left and right. This mid-side setup, of course, with one microphone facing the drum kit and another mic in figure 8 pattern facing the sides. Then duplicate that, phase flip one side, which is this side in this case, and you have your sides. That's where you're getting the ambience on the drums in this mix. There is no artificial reverb. I'm not sending anything of the drum tracks to any kind of outboard gear. I do have compression on the kick drum. I'm using 2 Symetrix compressors today for that. On the kick, I have the vintage Symetrix CL-100, and on the snare drum, the Symetrix 501. There is no EQ or compression on the toms or the mid-side mics. The kick and snare has minimal EQ. I've pulled out a little bit of low mids from the kick drum and boosted a little bit of low end. On the snare drum, there is a touch of 12 kilohertz being boosted, and that's it. So it's a very natural drum sound. The ambience on the drum kit is coming from this mid-side setup. These mics were probably placed about 6 feet in front of the kit, so it's got a lot of ambience and a lot of good stereo spread due to this mic setup. Here's the mid-side setup on the drums by itself with nothing else in the mix. I've got these 3 channels soloed. This is like a room mic slash overheads, and it's kind of cool. In this case, I was just going for something different. I wanted a really ambient drum sound, and I wanted it to sound pretty natural to go with a lot of the other things. A lot of the other tracks in this mix had a lot of reverb or delay, that kind of things already baked into the tracks. They were recorded that way. So when the tracks came to me, when I was originally working on this album, it was my job to make the drums and the tracks that I received pretty cohesive. And then there were some extra things that we added to. One guitar track that I'm going to get to in particular that has a lot of harmonics that are being played, and I'm going to use an external effect on that. Bass guitar here on this next channel, I had to EQ the bass because for some reason it was just deficient in low end, so I boosted a little bit of low shelving EQ and then added a little bit of low mids. I'm using the Urei LA-10 compressor on this bass guitar track on this song, and I remember in the original mix I think I had to run like 2 or 3 compressors in series and EQ this a lot to get it to sound right. Today I'm just using the Urei LA-10 because it seems to be good at holding a bass right in a mix where you want it, and I don't have to have 2 or 3 of them like I did with plugins. So that's the Urei LA-10 on bass. So let's hear the bass guitar now. hopefully it'll fit with the rest of the mix like it's supposed to. So let me check that out now. Next we have some guitar swells that kind of start the song. It starts out with not much instrumentation at all, mainly just this guitar. And this is 2 channels here that are panned in stereo. Let's listen to that swell guitar at the beginning. I'm not doing anything to that here on the console, although I do have it high passed up here. That's a really nice ambient kind of guitar swell track. And again, this is how the track was sent to me originally. So I'm not doing anything to that. There is no EQ, no reverb or anything. That's just baked into the track. I do have high pass filter on. Here's another stereo guitar track next to it. This fades out and this comes in along with the rhythm section. That's a really nice sounding track right there. Very punchy sounding. And then we've got this echo melody that comes in after that track. I think the other track stays in there too. So let's play both of those. So I got confused, and the echoes were actually down here on these 2 channels when I played that demo, so I had to switch that. These 2 channels here, these are actually an 808 pattern that kicks in and the acoustic drums drop out. And that's a really cool dynamic shift in the song. And what I'm doing here is kind of special because I'm using one of my 2 ART TCS twin compressor systems on this drum loop to kind of beef it up. And I'm using the mix preset, which is one of the presets that uses both the optical and the VCA compressor. So in this case, this is the ART TCS twin compressor system on the OPL mix setting, which is the optical compressor followed by the VCA compressor. And I am just barely hitting that compressor because that optical compressor's release is kind of slow, and that makes the release of the compression more obvious. I don't want that. So I'm just barely compressing this 808 loop. Let's check that out. Maybe we'll check it out with this guitar track too. So the 808 loop is pretty fun. It's cool. It just, the main drums drop out, 808 parts. You've got all these ambient guitars. And again, I'm not doing a lot of that here in the mix. They were printed that way. So it's really cool for me to see how combining the same tracks that I did on the original mix of this song through the analog console, just doing a few extra things to it. And I think it's coming out sounding great. And it's really the same but different in a good way. And it's a lot of fun anyway to check it out. This guitar also is one of the only things, if not, yes, this is the only thing I'm sending the aux sends to the Yamaha Rev500. And I'm using the Reverb for Pads preset that I've tweaked. I've got a screenshot of the settings. That's the only instrument that's being sent to the Yamaha. This guitar was a little bit too dry sounding, and I wanted it to blend better with the other guitars that have a lot more ambience on them, so I added some of the Yamaha Rev500 reverb to that. Down here on this fader, way down here by itself, this is a cool guitar harmonics track. That was done here in the studio towards the end of this album's production. We added this harmonic track. Today I'm going to do something different with this lone guitar track down here, which is mostly harmonics that are played. It's a really kind of cool featured part in this song. It doesn't have a lot of ambience on the original track. So I'm going to use my external VST rig. Make sure to check out my external VST rig video for how to do this in detail. I'm using a Microsoft Surface Pro tablet as a reverb device. In this case, I'm using Cherry Audio Stardust, which is their new tape delay plugin, but it also has reverb. So I'm going to use that as an external send effect on this one guitar. I've already got that all set up, so let's hear what the Stardust tape delay. It's the Stardust 201, is that what it is? Which one is it? It's this one. Let's hear that section again with that guitar in the full mix. That's Cherry Audio's first effects plugin, and it sounds fantastic. The Cherry Audio Stardust 201 and then the Waves Factory Echo Cat are probably my two favorite tape delay plugins, but the Cherry Audio Stardust 201 adds chorus and reverb to the plugin, and I think it's only like 19 bucks or something. That thing's ridiculous. You guys definitely need to check out the Cherry Audio Stardust 201 tape delay reverb chorus. You know, it's basically like a Roland Space Echo plugin, but it's really cool, especially for the money. Man, great plugin. I think the mix sounds pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and play through the entire mix for you so you can kind of see how all these things are working together. And hopefully we get something that sounds good. That was interesting. It was just swimming in reverb, all the stuff baked into the tracks, plus the couple things I was doing. I was afraid it was going to get really soupy and weird, but it actually held together pretty well. This analog console's great for this. Didn't run out of headroom. The stereo width and depth and separation is still excellent, even with a lot of baked in reverb on the tracks, plus the other two ambient or delay effects that I was adding over here. Overall, I'm really happy with this mix, this ambient rock track. Seeing what I can do compared to the original mix is always a lot of fun. I very much hope you enjoyed that. It's definitely a great song. Make sure to check out the music video for this song from Circular Corners. Also check out all the links in the video description of this video for ways to help support this channel, as well as liking this video and subscribing to the Twin Creek Audio YouTube channel if you have not done so already. I hope everyone out there has an excellent and wonderful day, night, evening, weekend, weekday, hour, minute, second, nanosecond. Whatever it is you're having, have a good one. Thanks so much for watching.